The wind howled through the dense woods, sending shivers down David's spine as he drove his old pickup truck down the desolate highway that stretched from Canada to the United States. The snowstorm had intensified, turning the night into an eerie whiteout, where the only source of light came from the dim glow of his headlights. David had been on the road for hours, a solitary traveler in this desolate winter wasteland. The icy fingers of anxiety gripped his heart as he contemplated the endless road ahead. He had left Canada behind, and the prospect of crossing the border into the United States seemed like an unattainable goal in the blizzard. The eerie silence of the snow-covered landscape was broken only by the relentless drumming of the snowflakes on his windshield. The radio, tuned into static, offered no respite from the oppressive solitude, as if the world had been swallowed by the storm. And David was the last soul left battling the elements. He squinted through the windshield, his breath forming frosty patterns on the glass. The snowstorm had made visibility nearly impossible, and the tree-lined highway seemed to stretch on forever. A forest on either side of the road loomed like towering black sentinels, their branches creaking and groaning under the weight of the snow. As David's gaze wandered to the woods on his left, he saw something that sent a chill down his spine. It was a fleeting glimpse, a flicker of movement among the trees. He couldn't make out the details, but it looked like a figure, a shadowy presence lurking in the shadows. His heart pounded in his chest as he stared into the darkness. Could it be a lost hiker, trapped in the storm? Or perhaps just a trick of his exhausted mind, playing tricks on him in the midst of this desolation? He couldn't be sure, but a gnawing sense of dread settled in the pit of his stomach. Ignoring the unsettling feeling, David pressed his foot on the gas pedal, urging his truck to go faster. He needed to put distance between himself and whatever he thought he saw. The headlights cut through the swirling snowflakes, creating a tunnel of light that barely pierced the darkness. Minutes turned into hours as David drove on, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. The figure in the woods haunted his thoughts, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was out there watching him, following him. Just as he was beginning to convince himself that he had let his imagination run wild, a loud thud echoed through the truck, followed by the unmistakable sound of his tire hissing air. Panic surged through him as he wrestled to keep the vehicle under control. The truck skidded on the icy road, swerving dangerously close to the edge. With a trembling hand, David managed to bring the truck to a halt on the shoulder of the highway. He grabbed his flashlight from the glove compartment and stepped out into the biting cold, the snow stinging his face. The wind howled around him, drowning out any other sounds. The flashlight's beam revealed the source of his misfortune, a jagged shard of metal that had punctured his tire. Cursing under his breath, David knew he had to change it quickly. He retrieved the spare tire and a jack from the back of the truck, all the while keeping a wary eye on the dark woods that seemed to close in on him. As he worked on the tire, his breath visible in the frigid air, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. He scanned the tree line, his flashlight casting long, eerie shadows among the trees. There was nothing there, but the sensation of being observed persisted, making his skin crawl. With the new tire in place, David wasted no time in climbing back into the truck and starting the engine. He couldn't afford to stay in this desolate place any longer. The snowstorm showed no sign of letting up, and his encounter with the mysterious figure in the woods had shaken him to his core. As he continued down the highway, David's anxiety only grew. The truck's engine struggled against the harsh conditions, and every passing mile seemed to take him deeper into an unending nightmare. The road ahead seemed to stretch on forever, and the sense of isolation was suffocating. Just when he thought he couldn't take it anymore, a faint glimmer of hope appeared on the horizon. The border crossing into the United States was finally in sight, its gates illuminated by a soft, welcoming light. Relief washed over David as he approached the checkpoint, praying that he could put this harrowing journey behind him. But as he pulled up to the gate and rolled down his window, the Border Patrol agent gave him a stern look. "Sorry, sir," the agent said, his voice cold and impersonal. "We're closed due to the storm. You'll have to turn back." David's heart sank. He couldn't turn back into the wilderness, not after what he had seen. Desperation welled up inside him as he pleaded with the agent to let him through, to no avail. He was trapped, caught between the unforgiving storm and the unsettling presence he had encountered in the woods. With a heavy heart, David turned the truck around and headed back into the snowy abyss. The figure in the woods, if it had ever been real, remained a lingering mystery, a specter haunting his thoughts. The road stretched on, seemingly endless, as the storm raged on around him, and the eerie silence of the night closed in like a shroud. In that desolate, snow-covered wilderness, David knew he was truly alone, and the darkness that surrounded him seemed to hold secrets that would forever remain hidden. He could only hope to make it through the night, to escape the clutches of the storm and whatever unseen horrors lurked in the depths of the forest. The end. Thanks, guys, for listening to my stories. Have a good day and goodbye.